I want to introduce you guys to the worst Zionists in the world. If you had to guess which country had the worst Zionists in the world, which would you think? Like probably the USA or the UK, right? Maybe even Australia, easily. Like I'm talking about outside of Israel, obviously. The Israelis are the worst. But I guarantee you that none of your responses are going to be correct, because there is one country where it is the worst. It's the worst, okay? Now, let's imagine you are a rich television presenter in a country that isn't Israel, that I'm not going to reveal yet. You're impossibly rich and popular for no one knows why. You're incredibly stupid. You're basically an amalgamation of every dumb American media personality. There's nothing to you. You used to try and do debates with teenagers live, but you stopped doing them because you lost every single one. And now, for God only knows why, you're on the screen for 2 hours every single day saying whatever you want, and it's all impossibly stupid. Are you an oppressed concentration camp inmate? Well, you think you are. Oh my God, the caption to this is almost as unbelievable as the fact that he did it. The caption to this that I am about to show you is a strong, meaningful gesture by Mr. Edward Feynman in support of Israel and in its struggle against terrorism. Please look at what you're about to see. Please look at what you're about to see, and I assure you it has nothing to do with AI.
Decidí ponerme esto que era la insignia que le ponían los nazis a los judíos, ¿no?
You don't even need to understand what he's saying, just watch.
En el momento del Holocausto, en aquel momento de los nazis, lo vi al embajador israelí ante la ONU. Sí. ¿No lo viste? Impresionante.
This guy spent like a month wearing a gold star on TV with the Israeli flag on his desk. Now, in Argentina, there are people of Arab ancestry, but the thing is, like, they're denationalized. They assimilated. They don't give a shit that they used to be Arabs. So, like, there's no such thing as, like, a pro-Palestinian voting bloc in Argentina. But what you do have in Argentina are a ton of Jews, most of whom are Zionists. Like, they love Israel, they love genocide. What more is there to say about that? So you have, like, this political landscape that is just totally catered to Zionists, because obviously you have nothing to lose from catering to them. You're not going to lose any votes. You can lose votes by going against Israel. You're not going to lose any votes just being pro-Israel. So all the politicians, all of the ones that matter at least, are extremely just pro-Israel, because if they want to get votes, that's what they do. Who gives a shit? It's not like there's any people who vote against them just because of that. So you have this ridiculous fucking landscape where this person who I myself have met in real life and I deeply regret ever working with, just constantly, he cannot fucking help himself, goes on radio shows hosted by fucking genocidal Zionists every single fucking day like it's fucking nothing, to talk about things that, like, other unrelated things that they supposedly agree on. Like, he just sits right next to people who one day will be talking about how every child in Gaza deserves to die, and the next they sit next to, like, a supposedly, like, leftist political commentator. Like, people just work with Zionists who posture as liberals and stuff. You know, like, I'm so liberal. It's the same as the fucking US. Like, I'm so liberal until it comes to Palestinians, then I want to kill them all. And in Argentina, basically, no one has any principles at all. No one cares about anything. All that they care about is collaborating with even, like, genocidal baby killers that don't give a shit. So you get stuff like what I am about to show you. This is just as an example, someone who I actually have talked to and stuff. And he's, like, supposedly a Marxist. He makes content. Surprisingly, he makes content that is pro-Palestine, where in that content, he's happy to say all the right things. And then he just goes on the radio and has, like, nice little chats with the worst people in the world. Like Hitler turned up to 11, has nice chats with them. This is Romina Rangel. Who is she? Well, I'm glad that you'd ask. So in Argentina, this allows us to introduce another great thing about Zionists in Argentina. The ADL equivalent, which is called the DAIA, and I don't know what that stands for. It's something about, like, Israelites. It's like the main Zionist lobby / disciplining people for speaking out against Israel's genocide lobby thing. They've been, like, criminally denouncing people who say bad things about Israel. Someone got 6 months prison, actually, for saying that Israel is a racist state. This guy, Alejandro Borrart, who was, like, a left-wing politician, was, according to this article, sentenced for being anti-Semitic Because in Argentina, because no one gives a fucking shit about anything, any like opinion against Israel there, because there's no incentive to do so. In Argentina, the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism is literally what is accepted judicially. So if you say that Israel is racist, you go to fucking prison for anti-Semitism. By the way, Israel is racist. Come at me, fucking cunts. So this guy who I shamefully worked with, Paulo Borda, 0 out of 10, do not recommend him. He sat down with Romina Mangel, who presented herself as a witness for the prosecution against another left-wing politician who is currently being prosecuted for saying Israel is racist. She literally testified in the trial against this guy. And in Argentina, you can be a so-called Marxist who's pro-Palestine and you just sit down with these people. They're doing this to like literally anyone remotely prominent, like in formal politics, who says something bad against Israel. Israel is racist. Israel is committing genocide. You get reported to the courts, and like because they use the IHR definition, saying those things is actually considered illegal, and you go to prison for it. When Roger Waters came to Buenos Aires, they reported him to the courts, though I think he left before anything happened. And as you can see here, Romina Mangel is mentioned here as someone who testified in the case against her. Great. And in Argentina, this is like what happens with Zionism, because no one fucking gives a shit. No one can say something that's as simple as, you know what? I'm not going to sit down with this Zionist. I'll go and talk about this somewhere else. There's zero principles. There's nothing. I'll sit down with a Zionist. And the worst part about this isn't the first fucking time this happened. I mean, I'll show you my fucking, like a screenshot of my DMs with him. So I sent this to him in April last year, as you can see. I said, Pablo, don't never invite Zionists to talk in your channel again, please. And he's like, he came to me for common interest, but he seemed a bit too indulgent or something. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. That was in October last year. And then the last thing that I said to him is I replied to his story and I said, this is a Nazi Zionist, Pablo. He does it again. So you know what? Fuck these people. They always do this. All of them do this. Peronists are all like this. Fuck them. All of them are the same. All they care about is winning the votes from the Zionist Jews in Argentina. They will not take a fucking stand against anything ever. Yeah, the same as the fucking American Democrats. They're worthless. These people have all been silent as their Zionist friends denounce their supposed compatriots, their supposed companions, their comrades, to the fucking courts and get them put into prison for saying Israel is racist. It's funny too, because this guy has said things that if they chose to report him, he would get put into fucking prison for, about Palestine. So it's a fucking wonder that he's out there hanging out with people like this, as if these people aren't completely incompatible with what he claims to believe. Like here he is talking about Israel is innately a threat to all of the countries in the Middle East.
Desde su conformación, el Estado de Israel ha generado numerosas controversias. La idea de la conformación del Estado de Israel formaba parte de una reivindicación histórica del pueblo judío, desde la conformación del primer Congreso del movimiento sionista. El desarrollo del Estado de Israel a partir de la década del 50 tuvo una gran particularidad, que es que convirtió a ese Estado en un Estado conquistador que se dedicó a agredir a sus vecinos.
Okay, he's wrong, obviously. It's always been racist, but he's like, since the 50s, Israel became a conqueror state that has been aggressive towards its neighbors or whatever. And like half the comments are from like Argentine Zionist Jews who follow him saying like, but you don't say anything about the Muslims conquering. Why do you say it's bad when Israel does it? Boo-hoo-hoo. And since then he hasn't said anything bad about Israel. He used to be happy to say bad things about Israel, but not anymore. No more. Now what we got is I'm going to sit down with like genocidal Zionists and we're going to have a good time together. And this is why I'm done with these people in Argentina. Fuck all of them. All of them are like this. None of them will do shit. They are happy to sit down with genocidal Zionist scum. God, Argentina is just such a shithole for Zionists. Like the first clip I showed you isn't even the worst one. I think there's a worse one. Like so there is this great fella who's basically like the protege of the guy who I showed you earlier, Eduardo Feynman. And his name is Jonathan Viale, or Jonathan. I don't know why he doesn't have a fucking H. But his whole thing is his dad was like this famous TV/radio host named Mauro Viale. Now, Viale isn't his real name. It's a pen name. His real name is Mauro Goldberg. And Jonathan's real name is Jonathan Goldberg. But because Jonathan is such a fucking loser who has done nothing of his own merit, of any worth in his entire life, he uses his dad's fucking fake pen name to leech off his fame. It is the most pathetic fucking thing I've ever seen. He doesn't even make up his own fake pen name. No. So this guy is like the crown prince of nepotism. It's like no one knew who he was, and then suddenly he's on TV, and it's like, wait, who the fuck is this guy? I've never seen him in my life. And it's like, oh, he's Mauro Vialli's son. Oh, okay. I guess he's on my TV every night now. He's popularly known as the Milky Man, the Fatty Milky is what we call him. Remember that, that's his name. But he had a great editorial, they call them here, which is just embarrassing. It's like a dumb fuck ranting in front of a fucking TV screen where like Digilist designer gives them a PowerPoint presentation. So he went on a fantastic editorial, as they call them, about how anyone who doesn't support Israel's genocide loves terrorism. And he called it, I shit you not, in English, because these people have to insert English into everything to pretend they're cultured. Oh my God, they want me to confirm my age. No. Whatever, I'll just screenshot it. It's good enough. I love terrorismo. I love terrorismo. Like, this is what the state of the TV. This is everyday television in Argentina. Like, you can't avoid it, because this is the mainstream TV that everyone watches, is this. Okay? Welcome to television in Argentina. These people said something mildly critical of Israeli genocide. You know what? I'm going to tell my intern slave to get a crude Photoshop of them doing hearts and wearing Hezbollah t-shirts. And I'm going to say they love terrorismo, but I'm going to put love and I in English, because that's cool, isn't it, right? Saying like a random English word for no reason whatsoever. That's what cool people do, hey? So I'm going to do it. This is normal stuff in Argentina. In Argentina, like the vice president of our version of the ADL, he just posts on Twitter. He had like an endless tweet feed. This is the guy, right? Look at this prime specimen, clearly racially superior as his ideology dictates. But he posted saying, as we repeat endlessly, there are no innocent civilians in Gaza except maybe those less than 4 years old. He didn't go to prison for 6 months for that. Argentina is a Zionist shithole. It's Zionists and people who cater to Zionists because they don't really have like an incentive aside from just not being shit people to not cater to them. So the default is like you're a Peronist or a leftist, and there's just like a bunch of like genocidal Zionists who go with you to the rallies and stuff, and you just never talk about that part about them. You know, you go to like, oh, let's protest against the evil right-wing Milei government. Yeah, let's all go protest together. And you lock arms with like someone who like stops mid-March to post on Twitter about how much they want to kill Palestinian babies. That's like Argentine politics. And it's a fucking joke, and I'm over it completely. The next time these fuckers tell me to like, oh, can you raise awareness about Milei? I'm not gonna say shit. Milei's good for me. I love Milei. I love terrorismo and I love Milei. That's the truth. We'll make a deal, okay? Control your Zionists and maybe I'll say something nice about you. Abide by your end of the deal or nothing nice about Argentina is ever being said again.